way. He's like, well, your husband is over there.
I can't get in there. There's no way.
Oh, there's no way. Hang on.
09, Tango being advised that there's still one person in the house.
Something doesn't feel right.
It resulted in it going from a fire investigation to a homicide investigation.
He was angry, yeah. He was angry. He punched holes in the wall.
$1,000 is gone.
Who said that?
Lisa.
You can see Heather grab a cart, go through the aisles.
We were hoping that he would then break down, maybe give us a confession, tell us exactly what happened that night.
Let's just say that. Don't leave anything out.
Don't
leave
protect
anything out.
EJ.
What's the address of your emergency?
It's not my house, it's my neighbor's home. It's on fire.
Do you know if anyone's home?
Yeah, they're home.
All right, if you want to go over and talk to them, make sure everyone's out of the house. And
I
then
can't. I don't even see them.
But you don't see them outside the house.
They came to my house and asked me to call the police.
Okay, all right. Okay, where do you see flames?
The whole house is on fire.
March 1st, 2017, Guilford, New York. A fire rips through a quiet rural home. A teenage boy, Jeffrey Franklin, is trapped inside.
I asked them to call 911. They then went back towards their residence. Affirmative.
Within seconds, Deputy Dustin Smitana, already on patrol nearby, rushes to the scene. A small house in a remote part of the county.
Once we arrived on the scene, no lights on the roads or anything, and to see the big bright orange light in the sky, it definitely got my attention and woke me up fast.
When first responders arrive, they don't realize this blaze is hiding something far more sinister.
As I was running up, I caught out of the corner of my eye. As I was running by, I saw the silhouette of a person off to my right as I was running up. He said that his boy was in the house. At that point in time, I realized this was a very serious situation. You know, there's a child in that house. I can't get in there. There's no way.
Oh, there's no way. I don't know if we're going to get the trucks up here.
Just trying to see around the backside, Ron. I don't know. I can't even get up there, man. It's hot. We're hearing popping sounds, crackling of fire. I mean, this is the biggest fire I've seen in my career.
Back to the...
I tried going on the backside to see if I could get JR out, and when I went around back, the fire was inside the nursery. Tried breaking the windows to get in, because it's too hot.
The homeowner, Ernest Franklin, points to where his adopted son, Jeffrey, or JR, is trapped inside the house.
In the back room, sleeping. Taking the fire.
How old is the person?
No location in Shermer. Has gone to the north. I can't get to him.
I tried to run on the other side. I can't even get close.
09, Tango.
109, go ahead.
09, Tango being advised that there's still one person in the house.
Knowing that there was a victim inside that house, I felt helpless. My partner felt helpless too. We stood by and we watched the house burn more and more, and realizing that there's nothing we could do.
Jeffrey was adopted at age 11. Born deaf, autistic, and mute, he had bounced through the foster system until Ernest and Heather Franklin took him in.
He was a kid that just would make you smile, and he loved everything. Jeffrey was deaf. He also had learning disabilities. He had trouble learning and mastering his own language. Behavior-wise, really, he did things a typical 3-4-year-old would do. It's just he was older doing them. But he was a happy kid, even with all the challenges he had. And there was an opportunity for Jeffrey to have his own parents. And we asked him, you know, Do you want to stay here with Uncle Ted and Aunt Jen, or do you want a mommy and daddy all of your own? And he said he wanted a mom and dad all of his own. It was difficult, not wanting to let him go. We loved him, but we also were taking comfort in he's going to get his own parents. He deserves his own parents.
JR went to bed around 8:39. And we started a movie. We watched that at over 10:30 or so. Wife had to go get some pregnancy meds. I started firing wood stove. Went to let one of the dogs out. Both got out. That went to go track the dogs down and drag them back home. Came back down over the hill. Fire in the living room. I went to try to get JR out and I couldn't, so I ran down to the neighbors. They called. Shortly thereafter, the 2 deputies showed up. They kept me back.
What's concerning about it is that you start to wonder, you know, why isn't this guy injured, partially burned?
Once the fire is out inside the home, they find the lifeless body of 16-year-old Jeffrey Franklin.
We started what we call delayering the room, so a lot of the debris and everything that fell off from the ceiling or from the walls or anything, we started removing some of those items piece by piece, going through and looking for any type of remnants of Jeffrey that may remain. One of the first things we found was actually the bed springs, and then we eventually ended up finding Jeffrey's body. We found him laying on the mattress as though he was sleeping. But something you never forget, and it takes a toll on everybody that's there.
All those things are adding up that something's not right here. There's something that was missing and we needed to find that.
We started our investigation by taking pictures, judged that against the story, the information from the interviews that we were receiving, and trying to put everything back together. And did notice that the stove door in the living room was open, so we questioned that. Also, the homeowner who was home at the point in time tells us that he comes back out of the woods from looking for his dogs, and the time frame that he starts talking about that he's gone. And when he comes back, we really start questioning the progression of the fire, because using scientific methods, we can figure out, you know, what the burn rate is in the building based off from the combustibles and the type of building construction. So then we started piecing everything together and realized that there was something that was not right here.
The investigation begins with Jeffrey's adopted mother.
I want to say like 11-ish, maybe. And then I went to Price Chopper.
Okay.
Because I was back, I forgot to get the Benadryl, which was one of the main things I needed to help sleep. Picked up some life cereal, I didn't like the prices, and I kept thinking about this baby blanket I'd seen at Walmart too. So we went back to Walmart, did that stuff, and headed back. And that's when, excuse the term, all hell broke loose. Came home to a nightmare. I started asking everybody, are they over here? Are they over here? And I finally made it up the driveway. As you know, the driveway is really steep. And two, being pregnant and already flipping out and being upset because I wasn't getting answers. And a fireman finally came down to me. I was like, I'm looking for my boys. I'm looking for my husband, my son. He's like, well, your husband is over there. I was like, okay, great. Where's my son? And that's when they told me he was unaccounted for.
Okay.
And I seen the house, and it was like practically flooded at that point. So I knew he would have came up to somebody if he was out. I just know he would have, because that's the kind of kid he was, you know?
To continue to gather information and provide that information to assist the fire investigators.
The investigators went to the 911 caller, Ernest's neighbor.
There's some things I'm not comfortable story-wise that aren't...
Just tell us what you think. We don't truly know what happened up there.
We're trying to... Right,
a 16-year-old died, so...
Right. Just something doesn't feel right. I don't know how to explain it.
But your own personal opinion as a person.
My own
father,
personal opinion, father. Why did he come down here to call 911 to try to save us?
How do you know that's the case?
I can only assume. I don't know. Because, again, with being able to see how clear it was that it was on fire. Now, I have not talked to him about any details because with him having PTSD, I'm not triggering him. I just not, you know.
And how do you know he has PTSD?
This is what Ernie's always told me. Even fireworks set him off. He can't be around fireworks. When we had fireworks out here, he actually had to drive away because that was too much for him. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Sure. You know.
At first, investigators believe Jeffrey died from smoke inhalation, but the autopsy reveals there was no smoke in his lungs. Jeffrey was dead before the fire.
One, there was a lack of soot in the trachea and the bronchi of Jeffrey, and the mouth and the tongue. It didn't match up with that he died in the fire. Also, the lack of carboxyhemoglobin in Jeffrey's body told us that he wasn't breathing when the fire took place. Given the information from the autopsy, we knew that Jeffrey was dead before the fire. So my conversation with the pathologist resulted in it going from a fire investigation to a homicide investigation. And we had to determine who did it. So the person we would look at first and who would be leaning towards the most would be Ernest. We wanted to find out why he didn't try to get into the house. What did he do to try to help save Jeffrey? We had to dig deeper. We had to find out what was he trying to hide.
Investigators talked to his parents and sister to understand what Ernest was trying to hide.
Is there, what, 5 miles away? My boy had problems when he came back from the service.
Now, what branch was he in?
Army.
He was in the Army, okay. How many years was he in? Quite a few, or?
A year and a half. Yeah, a year and a half.
Just regular infantry, or what did he?
I don't know.
Not sure what he did in there?
No, I'm really not sure. He said he went to Iraq.
Did act different when he came back from when he went in?
Yeah, he acted different.
Was he angry, or I mean, what kind of?
He was angry, yeah. He was angry. He punched holes in the wall.
I assume they got him when they were together?
Yeah.
Okay.
2005 or 6 as a foster kid. And then 2016 was when they adopted him. And that's when things changed.
All right, so describe the change to me.
They pulled him out of regular school to homeschool him.
Okay. Do you know why they did that?
They said they didn't like the school system.
Initially, they welcomed Jeffrey with open arms, but over time, things soured.
That was me.
Okay. What was me?
It didn't sit well with me.
Okay. Tell me about it.
It was a little after the fire.
Okay.
It was said in a matter of minutes, $2,000 was gone.
To say there goes $2,000 a month and not mention any sympathy towards losing your child, it was a red flag to her, but it was also a red flag to us.
Who said that?
I don't remember. It was just a comment that's stuck.
Who said it? One of them said it.
I know, and I'm not telling.
Here's what I see. I see you trying to be loyal to your brother because you're his sister. But I think considering the circumstances, I'm not trying to tell you what you should do, but if I were in your shoes right now, I'd shift that loyalty to Jeffrey and give us the truth.
So they adopted a child. And now that they were able to conceive their own child, did they need Jeffrey anymore? There's obviously more behind that, and Ernest was the key to finding out more.
Ernest's was probably the most difficult, obviously, because he's at home and he's up in the woods and his story chasing dogs. There's not really an easy way to be able to prove that happened. So that was, kind of the hard thing for us. On the other hand, Heather was much easier to get her alibis. She stated she went to several different stores. Obviously, we had investigators go pull surveillance video, and in fact, we did find her on many store surveillance cameras at basically the times that she said she was there. On the video, you do see the truck pull up, you see her exit the vehicle, you see her walk into the store, you can see Heather grab a cart, go through the aisles. The next thing we saw was her checking out. It's an overhead view of her just having a couple items, and then she walks out of the store. She did go to at least one other store, so at this point her story makes sense. So obviously, Ernest again is the only one at the house, and he's obviously the prime suspect.
Say that he did not die in the fire. When people die in the fire, there's a lot of evidence. You have soot that you're breathing in, right? And carbon monoxide in your blood builds up, and that's what kills you. It's not usually the heat, it's not the flames, it's smoke inhalation. And two ways they know smoke inhalation: soot in your mouth, in your nose, in your trachea, and in your lungs, and a carbon monoxide level in your blood that's high. JR had none of that. He had no soot, he didn't breathe in any soot.
He gave us a confession, tell us exactly what happened that night. He reacted in more of a stubborn way. Throughout the interview process, he was cold, he was unsympathetic, never apologized for what happened to Jeffrey.
Something happened to JR, and then your house catches fire.
Why would I burn my house down?
To hide what happened to JR.
Why would I kill him?
These things happen sometimes. Things weigh on you. I get that. We're both parents. We
do not understand what weighs on me.
You're right. I'm not you. What I'm saying.
You don't even know why I got into foster care.
I don't. Why don't you tell me why?
Because I shot a kid in Afghanistan. Mother and son. So one way I gave back was doing foster care, and he came along. From day one, I wanted to adopt him.
Because when he's on that stand and he's in the hot seat, he's going to tell more of the truth. And if he indicates anything of your involvement or your knowledge, as long as you tell us ahead of time. Okay, I'm just saying. And we're just trying to confirm your story.
He doesn't care about you to protect your baby.
She just was trying to sidestep questions. She was trying to avoid answering questions by asking for bathroom breaks. So we had to take it to the next step, figure out what truly took place. So the next step in the investigation was to obtain a search warrant for the truck, which would disclose a lot of information about what took place that night. Okay, Heather, this is a Shannon County Sheriff's Office search and seizure waiver. Okay, basically this is going to allow me or us, the state police and the sheriff's office, to get from your vehicle your cell phone. Okay? Let's see.
Would you need the cell phone just out of curiosity?
Yep, just to try to confirm everything that what's being said and, kind of go through it and see if there's anything in there of value. That's all.
Heather claims she went to buy sleeping pills, but the GPS tracker stated otherwise.
Valuable evidence. We did not expect to find a portable GPS unit in the truck that would basically just discredit her entire story.
About the time that she said, it does show her showing up to Walmart at the time she said, but then the real bombshell for us, and the one that we were kind of taken back by, was the fact that after leaving Walmart, she goes back to the residence and sits there for approximately 5 or 6 minutes at the residence. So then the vehicle starts back up, she goes to another store after that, and that totally disproved her stories previously. She said she never went by the house, never was around the house. That to us said that she has some involvement in this. She either knew implicitly what he was gonna do or had a pretty good idea of what he was gonna do while she was gone. So at this point, she was a solid suspect.
With a biological child on the way, Heather and Ernest seemed to see Jeffrey as a burden. They turned to an Oscar-winning film for inspiration, Prosecutors believe Ernest and Heather thought the same defense would save them.
Right now, we're going to have you sit in the other office. We're going to get you some additional paperwork and stuff to go forward.
I need a lawyer.
Well, that's going to be up to you. Now, this is just the beginning stages of it. You're being charged. That doesn't mean that you're being convicted. Okay, there is a process that we have to go through. So as of 3/14, you're under arrest.
Is there anything you need to tell us now before you go further? Anything you need to change? Anything you need to say?
On March 22, 2017, police arrested the couple. They were charged with second-degree murder, arson, and tampering with evidence.
After arresting Heather and Ernest that day, there was no doubt in our mind they were both equally involved in committing this crime. There are people out there that do things that other people wouldn't even fathom of doing. And why they did that, we may not ever completely know the truth.
Heather took a plea deal. She was sentenced to 7 years. Ernest went to trial and was convicted. He received 21 years to life.
Prison. Almost 1 month later, on the day before her trial, Heather pleads guilty to the lesser charge of manslaughter and arson.
We'll never quite know for sure exactly what happened that night. Obviously, there's some working theories and things that make sense to us. We obviously know Jeffrey was dead prior to the fire. That's a fact that we always will know. We know that the fire was set to cover up the fact that Jeffrey was dead prior to the fire. As far as the fine details, we'll never know for sure because they're the only ones that can tell us that.
Jeffrey loved trains. He wore a Mario mustache to school for a month. He never asked for much, only love and stability.
Like, comment, and subscribe for more true crime stories that delve deep into the heart of the human experience.